que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, inejecat, tonantzin, tonatiu, totatsin. Lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, inejecat, tonantzin, tonatiu, totatsin. The mover of the universe, the balance keeper, El Nahui Yin, sits within your heart for the communal journey. Seeking the truth given by your ancestor mothers, interpreting, adapting, translating with your heart and mind the new meaning of ancestral knowledge. You see with your heart. You dialogue with your heart, seeking the divine inspiration for your journey here on earth, seeking the creative force of your willpower. Truth is within your heart. Follow the divine heart, tu yolo. Your heartbeat will guide your journey, generating respect, kindness, cooperation, compassion, and truth. Confusion and chaos may confront your journey, demanding a pivot. Stop! You're a girl! You cannot climb that tree. What will people think? ¿Qué van a pensar los vecinos? Get in the house, wash the dishes, washear la ropa, and your calzones. Girls do not climb trees. You will be called a chirota, a girl boy, una vaga. ¡Qué vergüenza! No tengo vergüenza, tengo fuerza. Tengo fuerza para subir el árbol. I have the strength, the perseverance, and love to climb the tree of life, seeking the truth that lives within my heart, mi yolot, mi divine heart, mi corazón endiosado. The divine heart transforms humanity. The divine heart transforms humanity. May your heart and your eyes be open, for you are the other me, and I am the other you. In la quech. Lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, tlaconahuaque, tlazocamatli, inejecat, tonantzin, tonatiu, totatsin. Lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli, lo que nahuaque, tlazocamatli.
Like after that, I kind of want to just like stay quiet and like just take all, take in what we just heard, like how do I? But just by saying thank you so much, because I am a father of a daughter, and to hear something like that is very moving and powerful. So if you can just introduce yourself and explain some of your background and, you know, how are we here today, like, as an artist? I see we have, you know, some of it there. It says, you know, you're a theater artist and educator. So you've toured throughout Mexico and U.S. Where are you from? Like,
I'm from the West Side.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of West Sides. The West Side of
the West Side in the playa.
Okay. That's. What high school did you go to?
I went to Catholic school.
Oh.
Then I went to Venice High,
Nice.
Graduated from there, and I came to Cal State Northridge.
Ooh, okay, we gotta see some alum right here. That's
Cal
right.
State Northridge, amazing. The Chicano Studies department there.
Yes.
Is amazing. They were my mentors. They loved the students. They cared for the students. If we didn't show up, they would send somebody
To convince you.
what happened, just to make sure that nothing was wrong or you weren't ditching. But, no, but I came here to Cal State Northridge. I was born in Santa Monica, and many people don't think that there was Mexicanos, Chicanos, Latinos there, and African Americans, Japanese, I'm missing somebody, a drop of Russians, Japanese. So I grew up there, and then we were displaced, so we moved to Venice before it was like, what would I say, gentrified, right? So I've lived all over the West Side because we moved around, but now I live near Leimert Park. That's where I'm at.
So, what would you, if you, like, as an artist myself, I don't like to be just categorized as one type of artist, but, you know, you're a poet, or what would you classify your art as?
I would say I'm a theater artist, and for me that encompasses everything in terms of, you know, writing, directing, creating performance art, or anything, any form that I can take and use respectfully, I will do it.
I can see that in how you performed as well, right? That's why I wanted to ask, you know, like, because again, the way you performed your piece, it was, I could see, I was looking at everybody, and you had them very invested, and when you were moving and speaking, they were moving and with you, you know, and that takes a certain skill. So what inspired you to become, you know, this amazing artist?
Oh, thank you. Okay, when I was a little girl, I grew up part of my life in Mexico, in Jalisco, and my grandfather took me to this big pageant Catholic event where they would take La Virgen de Zapopan. Anybody from Jalisco? Guadalajara?
We got a few in here. That's right.
My parents are from Jalisco. So they would take La Virgen de Zapopan from her temple to the city of Guadalajara, into the Mercado de San Juan de Dios. And then they would walk her all the way back to Zapopan, which is, I don't know how many miles, but it's kind of far walking. So it was a procession with music, they would carry the Virgen and all that. And to me, that was like, wow. You know, it just got me like, it was such a beautiful feeling. You know, it's the feeling that you get when you see live theater, live performance, music, anything, like what we've been seeing right now. It really touches, you know, your soul, your solar plexus. And later on in school, that's why the arts are important in school. We would do puppetry, just like Beth, you know, that kind of stuff. And that's what inspired me to do that. I actually wanted to be a classical pianist. And I have fingers. I don't play, I play accordion. But anyway, because I had a keyboard. But anyway, I think because I was allowed to, well, in school and in Mexico, to be able to see all these expressions, because I grew up part of my life there. And that's why these events like this are important, because it exposes everybody, our kids, whoever's here, to different forms, like what we just have been seeing.
Yeah.
So that's how it happened, and then I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And then my parents were supportive. Ay, mija, ¿y de dónde sacaste eso? You know, vas a ser artista. You know, artista means, you know, Maria Felix, but that's not what I wanted to be. I mean, no, I hago teatro, I do theater, you know. They just didn't quite grasp it till much later. So that's how that happened.
No, and I can totally relate, right? When we were with interviewing Ricardo, that's kind of what we touched on, right? As being an artist in our culture and our background, there's one way, for our families, especially the elders, there's what they think an artist is, right? And when we go into what we're doing, it's kind of like, no, that's like, why are you gonna do that type of art? Why can't you be like an actress or an actor or a singer?
It's a commercial part, but exactly. You know, in the Mesoamerican culture, what is known as, let's call it poetry and song, is called in Xochitl Inquicat, which means in flower, flowers and song. So it's about beauty, it's about experiencing beauty, it's about also learning, you know, philosophical thoughts and so forth. So yeah, that's the stuff that we should, and is being happening here. Okay.
Thank you so much. So as far as the interview, right? When you saw the interview, what called about that, you know, to you, and what inspired what we saw today?
Okay, one of the things, when I'm watching it, and I know she's, you know, Taekwondo and all, I'm like, I don't know anything about Taekwondo. So I started reading, like, what is the philosophy? Yeah. You know? So when I started reading about the philosophy, I went, oh, well, yes, things have philosophies, right? So then that's when the philosophy that I talked about, the Yolot, which is the divine heart, which is more of a Christian term, but the divine heart is about being respectful, kind, open to others, and so forth. So Taekwondo and the Mesoamerican, this philosophy had some things that intersected. And I said, oh, that's it right there. And then when Emily was talking about the heart, I said, perfect. You know, I mean, it took a while to, you know, mesh all that together and see how to bring it forth in a way that was very as clear as possible and not preachy, because I'm not a preacher. And, you know, to bring that beauty that I feel when I read some of this, and then with her story, which was really interesting. And of course, what touched me was like, you know, limpiar la casa, come and clean the house, because that happened to me too. You know, and I had to say certain things that sometimes weren't popular with my Mexicano traditional dad, but I still did it, and that's why I was able to come forth. And my father did come back to me, at one point, and basically, in his way, let me know that who I was amazing to him, because he didn't know any other man like me, in the sense, but that I was a woman, but that I had these, what would I say, ganas to do things.
Strength.
Yeah, strength, and that I would say, why not? Tell me why. And if they couldn't tell me why, then they couldn't tell me why not.
Yeah. No, and I think that's you know, something we learn as we get older, is how much the children actually reteach the elders, right? Like, especially when they do have those solid foundation, good roots, and through them, you know, you start learning so much more about what you might have not known. Because as we get older, we kind of, it's unfortunate, but we feel like we have to stop learning. Like we know everything, right? And that's how we stay young, is to stay as a student and always understand that we don't know everything. So it's always beautiful when your child could, you know, reteach some lessons to you, and you go, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have thought that way, and you can become supportive of them.
Yeah. And there's the Nawiyoin at the beginning, the mover, the changer, because life is constant change. That is a given. It will always change, and in the journey, we have to know how to change, how to modify and confront things that happen. And yes, I go through that with my 16-year-old. You know, he'll tell me things. I'm like, what? Tell me again. You know, Thank you.
No, but thank you so much for sharing with us. Let's give Paulina a round of applause. Let's give Emily a round of applause.